start the Disney Bundle, where Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus come to life. Do your lefties group.
Hello, 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 hello. Get this stuff adjusted. Turn the background music down a little bit. Turn the annoying talking person up a little bit. See how that goes for all of us. Where are we at? All right. Well, welcome back from vacation. I am James. I am here to just hang out with people that are vaguely interested in cav and stuff like that. I'm painting terrain today. This is not... I'm not here to teach anybody nothing. In fact, I probably need to be taught things myself. I'm just here to do some stuffs. Just a little bit of stuffs. Adjust my light. And right now I am I'm working on my cab buildings. Which are going to need some repair. There's going to have to be some edge trimming done here. This is not going to hold up. But anyway, doing some edge trimmings. Mr. Ilmarin. Cthulhu, ready to paint with yellow. This one. So I bought all these at the same time. These are all from the same company. I just haven't got around to doing everything on all of them yet. Like I said, I'm trying to bore you guys to death, so you'll tell John to get me out of here and hire Party Bear so he can actually show you how to paint and hang out with you. And I can hang out with him then because I have Mondays. But yeah, it's the same old stuff, just smaller versions. I've got another one. Hold on a second. I got this one, which is much more of a warehouse shape, very wide. Good Lord, very, very wide. And not nearly as tall. And I thought about maybe putting a helipad on this one. When I get around to doing its roof, trying to put some sort of like a VTOL landing stuff there. But I haven't made up my mind yet. I've also got a pair of these, again, all from the same company. Outland models or something like that. And it's big enough. I thought maybe, since it's a little taller, I thought maybe about putting a VTOL thing up here. I'm not really sure yet. But yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking about. I also suddenly had this crazy idea to make like a much more war-torn version of these with green stuff sandbags and like dug-in infantry places on top of the roof so they could fight it out with the calves on a more even footing. Sounds like fun. The cab version of Amazon. You know, that I wish we knew more stuff like that, Cthulhu. That would make me so happy. So Ilmarin found a glass-roofed train barn. Wow, that's really cool. I would like to post some pictures of that. I'm curious to see what that looks like. But yeah, so today is window painting, windowsills. So I got around to putting some of the silver down. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it like when you're actually gaming with it, but I like the way it looks. I like it better than this, the ones that haven't been silvered, which are right here, obviously. I think it makes them stand out a little bit. I got a long way to go, but you know, it is what it is. I did have this crazy idea too today because I've been thinking about maybe trying to run some cab games at a different store that we have in town. One that I like the store just fine, but it's not my favorite place to play. But it's a perfectly fine store. Don't have anything negative to say about it for the most part. But I thought about getting, because I saw some guys playing BattleTech down there, and they were using some cav terrain. They didn't have much terrain, to be honest with you. Like their whole 4x5 board had 2 pieces on it, but that's me being mean to them, I guess. I thought about taking, once I get my whole thing set up, just trying to go down there and kind of flex on them a little bit with a really good looking board and both sides fully painted of calves, just to show what we have to offer. So anyway, I said that to say I still regret not doing something to the inside of these windows, but I thought, what I could do, hypothetically, is I put a hole in the bottom of here and attach an LED light with some sort of a mechanism inside to power it, and then just make a bunch of LED lights so it kind of radiates outward. I thought that might be pretty cool. Kato in scale long engine house. Yeah. Post up a picture somewhere on Discord or the forums or somewhere, and maybe I might have to get one of those if it looks really cool. Cthulhu, I enjoyed that a concussion. Is that what that is that you posted? Is that a concussion? The yellow fella? Apparently somebody else has taken over my I don't know what the right word is. Who's that fellow? Was it in Dante's Inferno who constantly had to push the boulder or rock up the hill and it kept rolling down? You've taken over my yellow boulder. Is that what you're doing? Good. You can have it. You can be the yellow fella. Sisyphus. That sounds familiar. So my wife has expressed some interest in playing, of all things, Marvel Crisis Protocol. And so and she knows how to paint. She's been a hobby person for a long time, but she hasn't done anything for quite a while. And so I was thinking about trying to introduce her to contrast paints. And Cthulhu, I think you use them. So I was wondering if you had any sage words of wisdom about contrast paints. Adenese sushi and almirathil squash. Sushi and squash. Sounds pretty good to me. Put it on the grill. Put it on the grill. Put it on the grill. So yeah, I was on vacation last week. Took Monday off for the holiday and my vacation, and I didn't really do anything. I worked on my miniature room a little bit. I put up some new shelves, or added on to the existing shelves, I guess I should really say. Cleaned in the garage a little bit. Played a lot of disc golf with my wife. Caught a really good case of poison ivy, finding rather. I was successful. Finding a disc I heaved in the wrong direction, it turns out. Where that stickery green stuff is not where the golf disc is supposed to go. Somebody should have told me that. Oh, cool, Elmarin. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. I want to see it in deployed, fully deployed, and powered up. I want to see a bunch of calves hanging in midair. I feel like, amongst the crazier mercs or just, hardcore military pilots, cav pilots, there's probably a thing where they just maglock their calves to the outside of like a drop ship, or not a drop ship, maybe I guess it would be a drop ship, and just like come in hot. They don't even have to get out. Chandler Scott. I knew it smelled of dragon. I could smell it all the way through the internet. Smells kind of like metal and glue. At least that's what I'm going to say. He came to hoard some buildings. Yeah. Excuse me. Pardon me. Yep. So, it's been pretty quiet around here. Everybody seems to have wandered off for a nap at the end of the summer. Developed other hobbies. Things like that. But I see on the Facebook group, somewhere back east, I don't know, Illinois, Ohio, somewhere, that James Smith Jr. person, whatever his name is, him and his local store are killing it. Those White Templars, those guys are looking awesome. And there's some Malvernus that guy is painting too. All those Banshees. Whew, I wish I was around those guys. I would love to see that fight go down. Would. Yeah, I think physical Gen Con is this weekend, Cthulhu. I saw somebody post about it. I hope it's very successful for them. I can't imagine. I mean, Gen Con is a business nowadays. I'm sure the people that are in charge of that's what they do for a living, is they run Gen Con. I'm sure it must be a lot of work. I've been once a long time ago, back in the, what was it, I guess early 90s? Yeah, early 90s. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. The first layer of lettering down. Good God, Ilmarin. What dedication. What dedication to this board. This is the one that you're, I can't think of the name of it, the police force people are going on. Forad or whatever they were called, I can't remember the name. I'm terrible with that sort of stuff. I was amazed I was able to remember the concussion's name earlier. Forad. Yeah, I knew it was something like that. Forad. I'm just wondering what's is there anything interesting we're expecting? Any game related news coming out of Gen Con? I mean, I guess maybe Games Workshop might make an announcement. I don't know. My favorite company, obviously John's not there. I don't know that Gen Con was ever really a CAV kind of place anyway. And I'm guessing Reaper's not going to be there. Not with ReaperCon nowadays. Atomic Mass Games, one of my other favorite miniature companies, didn't go and just had this past weekend had their big digital event, which was a hoot. So I'm curious, what's going to be at Gen Con that would be noteworthy? I guess the Warlord people will be there. I like Warlord games quite a bit. I'm concentrating. Hold on, I can't talk. Yeah, I don't know. So when I was there, I was kind of in between. I had kind of dropped out of miniature games for a while. I mean, I still messed with them a little bit, but it was back when Magic was a big deal and other card games had just come out, so that was kind of a thing back then for me. Was getting into Magic and other games. Galactic Empires was a game I played for a long time, which was kind of a space Star Trek Magic amalgamation, kind of. So like I said, I'm not really sure. I did see the one thing I can remember that was definitely miniature-y related was I wandered into this little side room where they were playing some kind of game where they had like literal X-Wing model kits like you would buy, you know, at a regular hobby model store. And they had They had assembled them, and they were flying around this homemade Star Destroyer that had to be the size of a small couch. And that looked like a lot of fun, pew pew, but I didn't get involved with that. I just happened to stumble into it. Happened to stumble into it. I'm just going to paint this thing right here silver as well. Just needs a little more something. Yeah. So they're in the process of taking over a lot of... Ooh, that was almost a mess. They were in the process of taking over, I think, a lot of the miniature games from Fantasy Flight Games. Legion and Armada, for what that's worth, and X-Wing, I think, are the things that I've seen are now underneath Atomic Mass Games' purview. I haven't talked to John very much lately. He's been kind of radio silent. He asked me a couple of questions while I was on vacation, but for the most part, that's it. I might get a chance to see him a little bit later this month. My wife and I are going to run up to Wichita for a doll convention she wants to go to. And there's a chance I might get an hour or two to pop over and say hi, maybe. Maybe. Make sure this is on camera. Not that anybody really cares to watch me base coat Silva. But you guys didn't come here for the painting. Thank God. I don't know. I bought Legion when it first came out, but I never even got a chance to play, and I don't know. It was just too much. I shouldn't have bought it, so I sold it all and never even got to experiment with it. Star Wars, I don't know. I like Star Wars, but it just doesn't hold my fancy. It just, I don't know. Something about it. It's perfectly entertaining. I can enjoy watching the shows. I love The Mandalorian. All that stuff is fine, but it just, I don't know. It just doesn't click for me. I don't know why. Probably should. I'm just a little bit older than its main demographic, so I would think it would be a big deal for me, but it's not. At the same time, like I said, I don't dislike any of it. I like Star Wars quite a bit. I go see all the movies. Oh, really? You picked up a bunch of John's old heavy gear? I saw him with a bunch of that stuff up there, like just laying around, literally, just like a lot of it. You wouldn't believe. I mean, I don't remember any particular details, but I walked back by John's melting pot once. You know, basically just a big furnace of lead, and when John needed to cast lead, he would fire it up and let it melt down. In the meantime, you know, it would just sit there and congeal or re-solidify or whatever the right word is. And so obviously it stood down in the pot. It was just a giant pool of metal. But on top of it, John would just throw things that he wanted to melt into the pot, right? So like he would throw old miniatures on there. The number of old Battletech miniatures I found laying on top of that pot just waiting for him to fire it up so he could melt them down would probably make some people on the internet cry. A river of tears. A river of metal tears. Yeah, Chandler, he's brutal some days. If you like that sort of thing. Are you an old Battletech guy there, Chandler? I never remember hearing you say anything about Battletech. 50 or 60 mechs in the mail. Good Lord. What are you going to do with those? Mr. Cthulhu? I mean, you playing heavy gear now, or you just buy everything? Which I can totally, I'm not, no judgment. You buy everything. I don't mind. Keeps me from buying it. Yeah, that was me. I played a fair amount of it back when it very first came out, and it was a perfectly fine game. I just moved on. I found other games I liked a little better. And I certainly never got into anything vaguely related to tournaments or anything like that. Like I said, the last time I actually played Battletech, there were no clans. So, it has been a hot minute. I like saying that to people when I see them playing Battletech and we get in a conversation. Some of them are like, I don't remember there ever being not clans. I'm like, yeah. Youngin', there was a time back in the bad old days, back in the USA. Actually, I hate that song. I don't know why I quoted that song. Yeah, you know, I'm the same way. I mean, if something looks good, I don't have to have a purpose for it, but I try mostly to buy things with a purpose. Or at least I tell myself that. I'm not sure it's true. Because my problem is, if I will occasionally I'll just go through these fits where I'm sick to death and tired of stuff being stacked up on top of itself, and I will just, if I don't throw it away, I'll give it away or donate it to the Goodwill or whatever. And I'm like, I should just keep the money. I won't throw that away. So I have tried to curtail my, oh look, shiny behavior that I once was a victim of. Hardcore. When I was a young man, newly married, for a while, for a few years, my wife, of all things, worked at a comic/game store. It was mostly a comic store, but they sold games. And at that time, one of the employee perks was you got to buy things at cost, which included Games Workshop miniatures. Oh my gosh, that was such a bad thing for me. I was a bad person. I was Chandler Scott. At least I tried to be, until I realized there's only one real true dragon. Yeah. I think it would be fun for there to be a good sci-fi RPG, a mech-based RPG. The problem is it costs so much money to create that background, right? I mean, that's really where the expense is. All the time and energy it goes into doing all that writing and world building and documentation and whatnot. There's just, I mean, there aren't a lot of games that I know of, not mech games, just Cav, as far as, or excuse me, not Cav, Battletech, that have really gone so deep into the lore. And of course, I don't really know much about Heavy Gear, so maybe they have a ton of lore too, and I'm just ignorant. But I mean, the only thing I've ever seen there was Mechton and the Battletech RPG, and I guess Heavy Gear must have an RPG. What other mecha-based RPGs are there? I wonder. And when I say mecha-based RPG, I mean something with some background. You know, not just, oh look, here's a way to sort of play Frostgrave with your mechs. I'm talking about something with, legitimate backstory and, like a universe and, factions and, just stuff, heroes and villains and stuff like that. Boy, this brush it's challenging me. Literally has two forks. Probably too much light. Lancer. I don't remember Lancer. So the hero system that had a supplement for its game system that had to do with mechs, but I can't think of what it was called. That was one of my favorite RPGs back in the day. Good old Champions. Good old Champions. So I'm looking forward to the weather changing, hopefully, one of these years. So I can get back outside and do stuff I really like. More than I can right now. So we played a fair amount of disc golf while I was off, but we had to go play in the mornings before it really got hot. So by 10 o'clock we were done. Otherwise, it was unbearable. Well, I mean, not unbearable, but just like, oh my God, why am I out here doing this to myself? It's basically, what is you're dehydrating yourself. You're sort of turning yourself into human beef jerky at that point. Sure, why shouldn't it have? I don't know. Should it have a silver door? Nah, that door should have color. I don't know what color, but it should be color, not just silver. Let me guess. Somebody is typing yellow. They're thinking yellow. I can hear you thinking yellow out there. Thinking yellow. Try and stay on page. I've lost it. Hazard stripes, the one true shade. Sauron invented the color yellow. I'm looking forward to that Amazon series, the Lord of the Rings Amazon series. And I have been enjoying the What Ifs. I also have been watching the new Teen Titans series over on HBO. I went and saw Shang-Chi. I have not yet watched the trailer for the new Hawkeye Disney series, but I know it's going to be good because the comic series it's based on is fantastic. The Matt Fraction run of Hawkeye was amazing, and I'm looking forward to see what they do with it on Disney Plus. Oh yeah, Doom Patrol. So Chandler, I like Doom Patrol. I watched the first season, and I'm just an episode or two away from finishing the second season. But man, it's an awkward watch. It's a little, there's creep, it's got a high creep factor at times. And I'm like, it's difficult for me at times to watch some of that. But I mean, it's not like, I don't know. It's good stuff. It's like, man, this is uncomfortable. Just a little uncomfortable. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I need to go over to Hobby Lobby. Oh, knock over paint. At least I haven't punched a camera yet. That's a world record. I need to get over to Hobby Lobby and pick up some sort of plastic little stuff I can make a frame out of. Because these edges are coming up a little bit where I keep touching them coming this way as I'm painting. So I can seal this back down with some more PVA, but I feel like it would just look a little better if it had like a black bezel. I think somebody mentioned that last time we were here. Ilmarin, maybe that was you, I think, possibly. So I thought Shang-Chi was really good. I enjoyed it. It's doing very well at the box office, so I'm very happy for that. Very, very happy to see. Good Lord! The silver wants to escape. It's like, you cannot contain me. I will be free. Yeah, something like that. Although I'm kind of hoping Ilmer and I can find something plastic, so it's has more. What am I trying to say here? More of a sci-fi look, I guess. Oh yeah, Cthulhu. I totally forgot about the Matrix. The Matrix 4. That'll be good. I just watched the trailer for that the other day. I didn't realize it was that close. And of course, Dune is coming out in October. I'm desperately trying to get my current audiobook finished. I've only got, I think I'm just at 10 hours left to go, so I can switch over and listen to Dune before it's time to go see Dune, because it's been a while since I've read it. Or listened to it, whatever you want to call that. And I am looking forward to that, seeing that movie. I think they're going to do a fantastic job with that. I like... I really like Batista. He plays such a menacing bad guy, very subdued. Momoa, is that the guy from Game of Thrones, which I never watched, but yeah, Game of Thrones. He's good. Unfortunately, I don't know the young lady's name from the Spider-Man series, the one that's playing MJ. I think, pretty sure it's MJ. She's got a role in that movie. The lead. The Fremen woman, who's, again, I'm just terrible with names. Terrible with names. Zendaya. Yes, I think you're right. Hey, Krugerrand. Glad to see you're here. Yeah. I think she does a wonderful character in the Spider-Man stuff. And so I'm real interested to see how she handles this role. I feel like this role's got a lot of teeth. If I remember the book, she was a warrior. She was pretty badass, especially for a character written, back in the good old days when it was uncommon for women to be badasses, like they really are. at least in literature. Hold on, I'm holding my breath. Trying to stay in the lines. Oh yeah. You're right. One of the Skarsgårds does play the Baron. I think it's going to be good. I remember the one from when I was young where Sting played had a role, and it was okay. In retrospect, it was pretty bad, I think. But at the time, I was like, wow, look, Dune, sandworms, yay! It turns out I'm kind of a fanboy. And I always loved the original Dune story because, it's good hardcore sci-fi. I got lost. I couldn't follow it forever. Like, I think I got to God Emperor of Dune and I couldn't, I just couldn't do it anymore. Maybe I need to try and knuckle down and fight my way through that. Maybe I'm older now and I can understand it. I have found that my attitude towards even classic stuff that I love from my youth has changed as an adult. So, as a kid, I discovered Heinlein when I was in elementary school, and so I fell in love with Heinlein, and I read everything I could get my hands on of his, up until when he died. And when he died posthumously, they published a book called Grumbles from the Grave, and it's like a collection of letters and essays and things like that, just from his. Just from his life that had never been published before. And I started reading it when it first came out, and this has been ages ago. I mean, I don't think I was married, so ages, or maybe I was a young married person. Yeah, I'm getting to that Cthulhu. And so as a young guy, I grew up reading the classic Heinlein, and then I started reading the slightly older guy stuff, and, I was like, oh, this is still pretty good. And so for me, it was Number of the Beast. When I first read it, I thought it was exciting. It was sort of a multiverse story before I had really encountered very much in the way of multiverses. I mean, spoiler alert, if you haven't read Heinlein's Number of the Beast, I'm going to spoil part of it. I'll give you 5 seconds to run away screaming. Probably many of you don't even know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so in Heinlein's Number of the Beast, they find a way to, without going into too much detail, they find a way to travel between realities, I guess is the best way to say it. And one of the places they end up going is Oz. They find a way into Oz. And so literally we have Glinda the Good Witch, the literal character from the story Oz, the Wizard of Oz, and Frank Baum's other stories, as a character in this Number of the Beast story, where it's a science fiction multi-dimensional traveling thingy. Which I loved. I thought that was fantastic. And then I went back to read it again. I don't know, this is a couple of years ago. I got it as an audiobook, and I was listening to it. And the female characters that he put in that book, I cannot stand. Those women are unbearable. They are mean and spiteful and manipulative and just awful. And I cannot stand them. And so it's kind of bad because that made me reassess that book, which I initially really loved. And since then, I kind of gone back and looked at some of his other books, and I was like, some of this stuff is just creepy. So anyway, I love the early Heinlein stuff, the juvenile Heinlein stuff. How Spacesuit Will Travel. The Moon is a Harsh Mistress is one of easily in my top 5 books of all time. Door into Summer, things like that. But I don't know, he gets into that To Sail a Sunset Sea. It's just kind of awkward. It gets to be awkward. I thought Friday was pretty good. And of course he won some sort of literary award for Stranger in a Strange Land, but it's not my cup of tea. I've read it. It's not for me. I'm telling you, I'm just trying to bore the crap out of you guys, so you will petition John to hire Party Bear. and get him to stream for him, because what he can't, all he talks about is these books that, I mean, books. What the hell are books anyway? Nobody reads books. Sorry, concentrating. Smaller windows require more of my tongue to hang out the side of my mouth so I can paint straight. It's very hard to talk with with your tongue hanging out the side of your mouth. Now I think this roll top door, this could probably be metal, but I'll do something different with it. I'll make it a different shade, maybe something darker. Or maybe I'll just paint it silver and hit it with... Nah, it probably needs to start out darker than silver. Aha! Krugerrand! Gosh. That's a game I could sit down and buy your dinner and just have you tell me stories about Eve. I have looked at that game and I'm like, okay, I'm confused. This is a game where I invest actual money, like hundreds or thousands of dollars, and people can destroy it or literally steal it and actually have my money, and there's no save? I'm confused. Why do people do this? So we ever get a chance, Kruger, and you explain Eve to me and I'll pay for your dinner, and we'll just hang out at the table at whatever restaurant will let us occupy their table for a couple of hours while you educate me. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Although I've been trying to keep, this more of a sort of like a clean looking building, which I definitely need to do some repair on. The decoupage needs, good God almighty. All right, that's it. Must be time to log off. My hand-eye coordination has gone home for the night. Nope, not yet. We gotta fake it. So when you say it's as long as the attacker doesn't mind losing their ship, the defender can't lose their ship? Interesting. I don't know. I've always felt life is complicated enough. I don't need a game that's as complicated as life. So I've tended to avoid those kind of games. I spend all my brain power at work. I don't want to have to use my brain when I hobby or play games or whatever I'm doing. All right. I think I got all the basics. Oh, no, I missed some. If you're in a high security space and get jumped, you may die, but in the game, police jump your attacker and frag him. So you basically can only lose your stuff if you go into PvP zones. Is that what I'm hearing? Whatever low security space must be, I guess. Makes me wonder if there's the cab equivalent. We have to mention cab every once in a while or John will get mad at me. Just kidding. I don't think John gets mad at me. Maybe he does. Yeah, I wonder, like if there are. I'm sure there must be outlaw regions of cab space where you only go if you know what you're doing, or you're such a total bad A that nobody would think to mess with you. If I were, if I had some like badass role in cav, I guess I would love to be like like a space navy kind of unit that whose job was to take tabletop ground units to places where it's really hard to get. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna fly through the Jack the Ripper country in the back of the rocks. Like I don't know whatever word you want to use, slums, and we're gonna survive and get your calves in there, and you could do your mission, and then we'll get you out. But it's gonna cost you. That's the kind of role I would like to have. I think it'd be fun to do that. Not a Han Solo kind of thing, but more of like my merc unit is a Space Navy merc unit. And we charge a hell of a lot of money to put your badasses where they need to be. Yeah, me too. 0.0 space or null. Abandon all hope ye who enter there. So Crew Grant, I guess there are people that that are just, well, fuck. I pin washed. Shit. Did I say that word? I'm sorry. Twitch is going to demonetize me now because I said a bad word. God bless it. I'm not supposed to say bad words. Yeah, I pin washed the building. Not quite sure that's where I was headed. You got me excited about this low security space. So I gather in the real world there are goons that hang out in this place and just do bad stuff to people. They understand the game. They have hacks, targeting computers. I don't know what the Eve version of all that stuff would be, but it sounds like a place to go and get your toys taken away from you by 13-year-olds with PowerShell scripts or something. There we go. Now I got all the base silver down. And yeah, so Cthulhu, I stumbled across a video once on YouTube. I can't remember the details, but there was this ship was the size of a station wagon. And they took it out into space and it got blown up and like everybody was waiting on him. It's like he did it on purpose or something. And I mean, the article made it seem like the thing was expensive. Okay, so now we got the 21-year-olds that have PowerShell scripts and all they do is play the game, so they know what to do when people with, well, when I don't. Let's just rephrase that. Let's be careful what we say. I already said a bad word. I'm going to get fired. John's going to get rid of me. Looking to put some paint down on my overhead rolly door. Is that a... Yeah, that's a pretty big difference. Okay. Overhead rolly door. That's crazy. And so this game it's like, what do you do, Krugeran? Billions of credits and hundreds of man hours to build. The last big saw 13 of them destroyed. Boy, that sounds pretty crazy. Yeah. And when you say destroyed, it's not like go back and reload your save, lose 10% durability on your stuff. I gather you're saying something more menacing than that? Get this building up here. More tongue hanging out times, so pardon me. No talkie-talkie. No talkie-talkie. Guess I'll just make that all the way down to the ground. Makes sense. Let that dry, and I'll do a little bit of silver dry brushing on it. Wow. So, but if I understand you, when the big ship is destroyed, some of its stuff is left around in as salvage, and people can snatch it up, and now they've got some dollars worth of kit of some kind. Is that how that works? Huh. So, I mean, I guess then it's, and I say this in gaming terms. So, like, this is clan warfare. Is that what happens? Like, there are big, like, cliques of people that operate together to help grow and stand up their fleet and take over territory and nibble at each other's. I mean, it's like gang warfare, right? Kind of, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, Krugerrand, dinner. You just got to meet me somewhere and entertain me with Eve stories for 2 hours. I think I'm going to try and get that to seal back down a little bit. Where's my PVA glue? Way back there. Yeah, I don't have any clean water. I'm just going to wait. All right. Corporations, the clans, and corps can join in alliances and declare war on each other. So, and then what? They just like look for each other in low security space and try and jump each other. I mean, are there territories? Are there resources? I mean, I know it's got an economy. I've heard that over and over again, but I guess if I'm interested, I should just go watch some YouTube videos, I guess. Sounds like a thing to me. So I wish I had something to say that was meaningful about Cab, because even though we've talked about everything else but tonight, I am still very excited for Cab. I want to see this dual cast stuff come to fruition. I am still excited for that. I want to see Spathas and Cossacks and all kinds of stuff. I want a big enough variety of models I can field a tank force and have fun painting it and looking at it. So it sounds like a fun little game. Sounds like it has potential. Is there any, do people do videos? Is there anything we're spectating? Is there anything fun to watch? Because, part of the problem is, I'm sure all kinds of exciting things happen in the game, but without somebody to explain the context of it, they don't mean anything to me. Huh, interesting. Interesting. So if you've declared war on each other, you can fight in high security space? Is that true? All right, well, I worked on this. I got the silver all laid down on this guy. Like I said, it shines up really good when the light is right above it, like it here is here when we're painting. I got all the bits silvered, and like I said, this is a darker metal. I'll dry brush this. And then these doors, I don't know. I hear yellow is the color. We'll see. And like I said, I got to get some clean water so I can make some more liquidy PVA glue and get that to stick back down a little better. And then, I don't know. Maybe I feel... What do you think about that? I'm trying to think here. What is that stuff? It's like kind of like drawer liner. They have this adhesive clear film that you can put over things. At college, what we used to do is instead of having like a note board on the outside of our door for people to leave notes, we would buy this stuff and peel it off and just put it on the door, and you could write on our door because it had this, I don't know, whatever it was called, this plastic sticky sheet over the top of it. Huh. Look up Clear Skies if you can find it. Someone laboriously did a story based on Eve using the games for ship stuff and Half-Life 2 for interior shots. That's pretty cool. Interesting. Yeah, something like laminate sheets. Yeah. I'm just looking for something that might help me seal this a little bit better. I don't know. I'll come up with something. Give me a reason to wander around Hobby Lobby and Michael's and those kind of places. Dangerous for my wallet, but it's not they don't sell too much expensive stuff, so it's not bad. It's not like wandering around the BMW dealership. That can be lethal if you make the wrong decision. Well, we're just about done. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about? Anything going on? Anybody gonna hang out with John on Wednesday? I don't even know what to ask him about anymore. Like I said, I was on vacation. He was very quiet, so I'm not quite sure what he's working on. I caught part of his stream last week, most of it, but not quite all. I know he's been talking about some, like his terrain kits he's been working on. I guess he decided the Thunderhead Studio stuff that he had licensed was not going to be the first thing on his list. Yeah. I hope you're right, Elmer. And I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to Dualcast. Although, to be honest with you, I've got enough airplanes for right now, so the first few releases are going to be kind of Mox Nix for me. I think other people hopefully will be very excited by those airplanes. They're fantastic looking. I enjoyed painting the 2 crossbows that I painted up for my Lymans. Man, it feels like forever since I played. Anyway, I guess I'll get off here. I've been painting on some other stuff for taking a little break, so I'll post some of that up in the off-topic part of the Discord over there sometime this weekend, maybe this week. I'm not quite done with it, but I can show you what I've been doing. And then I guess, I will certainly be back here next Monday, barring crazy weirdness. John will be here Wednesday. Hopefully Chris will be back on Saturday. I know he's missed a couple of weeks doing his sculpting stream. I don't know what's up with him, but I hope he's feeling well. I hope he's healthy. I hope he's happy. I hope. All the good stuff for Chris. We need him to make the what is he called? The digital sausages. See if I can turn this down without turning it off. There we go. I wonder sometimes if maybe I don't use too much light. Maybe it's because I have to see. That looks a lot better on stream to me. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I'm using way too much light. Anyway, folks, I'm going to log off now. I appreciate you hanging out with me as always. I look forward to the day when maybe we can hang out in real life and hobby together, or Crew Grand. I'm 100% serious. I'll buy you a steak. You just tell me all your Eve stories. Hopefully we get a chance to do that. Chandler Scott, why don't you go hoard something? I feel like there's at least one thing that doesn't belong to you in the world, and that's a shame. Anyway, you all take care. I appreciate you dropping by, hanging out with me. I look forward to seeing you again next Monday. Be safe, be happy, be good to each other. Talk to you later.